Hey YouTube, it's Tempest. Welcome back to the Tuesday Basement Build Guide. Um, I have a deck that I've been waiting forever to show you again. It's my Lawkeeper deck. Um, this deck is going to get a huge overhaul within the next couple weeks. Not a huge overhaul, but I'm really changing up a lot of things. So, this deck is me deciding, not quite sure what to do with it yet, how I want to play it. I had an idea for it, and then I was thinking it over and second guessing it, and I want to make sure I can test everything before I make everything finalized. So it's Lawkeeper, but it has a lot of new stuff in it. So I'll go over the deck first, and then I'll explain everything. Yeah, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. So I thought I was forgetting something. Oh, okay, that's right. My intro. So last build was me focusing on a pure Lawkeeper deck that required no counterblasting whatsoever. So basically, all you did was use Gojos to drop and draw into your Arc Dragons, and then once you had your ideal field set up, you played everything and then started limit breaking like crazy. And ideally, you only paid 1 damage for Conroe, and that was it. And then you could like limit break for 4 turns, and then your opponent probably couldn't stop you after that. This deck, however, has a lot of good techs in it. You'll see what I'm doing with it as soon as I get started. So I will. First card is Conroe. You need it to your grade 1s. There's a lot of good grade 1 techs in here, so Conroe is obvious. Triggers, we have 2 Tar and 2 Draco Kid. I'm running rainbow triggers, so for my 4 crits, I decided to go with a, oh no, my camera's lagging. Decided to go with a 2 of each, because with that, it kind of gets your opponent thinking, oh, this is running 8 crit, is running 6 crit, how many crit is it running? So 2 of each is good. For Flamespeed Salamander, this is a stand trigger, best stand trigger for this plant. I prefer Lizard Runner Naft because he looks cooler, but a Salamander is useful for doing things like, well, when your opponent has a starter out and you don't think they're going to be able to guard your attack, just put him behind there and kill your starter. Honestly, he's a 10k shield, so normally I don't play him, plus he takes up a booster spot, so I usually pull on him, but he's the best stand trigger when you can. For Gatling Claw Dragon, this is a card I was not running my other build because I was trying to save counterblasts, but putting him back in now because he's very useful at killing your opponent's starter and any other things they pull out. So yeah, I like him. And for Gojo for heal, or Genjo rather for heal, we don't have any different heal triggers for Kagero, so there's no mind fucking here. Plus you can only run 4 heals, so what are you gonna do? Alright, for grade 1s we have 4 bar. Standard AK booster, put him behind your Vanguard, put him behind your Arc Dragon to make sure they hit big numbers. That's all you say for. 2 Ryopia. I'm putting him at 2. He could go to 1, I suppose. But I don't. But in case he gets retired by like a Blaster Blade or something, Blaster Dark, you know, lots of decks have things that can kill things like Amon and Win the Ripper, you know, for Dark regulars. So, and especially if one gets damage check, we want to be able to search the other one. So, he's my normal Conroe search. And if I draw into him, then I can search something else with Conroe. So, yeah, Ryopia is good at 2, I think. I could drop him down to 1 again, but I think he's good at 2. 3 Gojo. Don't need 4 in this build because I've got other tech choices. He's still useful for the drop and draw. He's a great turn 1 ride if you're going first. Basically, you use him to get rid of your excess grade 2s and 3s. Either get rid of your excess grade 2s and Lawkeepers to draw your Arc Dragons and triggers that you need. So, I like Gojo at 3. I prefer him over Airmo because again he's a 7k booster. And then Chudre, Gonic Mage, Kanara. Yeah, counterblast 1, put him in your soul, kill 1 of your opponent's grade 1 rear guards. I kind of thought of putting Flameseed Salamander in here, or Heat Nail Salamander, sorry, as the grade 1 tech here. But my friend Mason had a great idea, not a great idea, but like a thing he told me is that when you go for final turn, you're really going to want to have your Ryopias and your bars in play for your boosters. And your flame seeds aren't really going to do anything. So they basically just take up space. And if your opponent continues to guard them, then they have to continue to guard them. And if they don't, then you know they lose one of the grade 1s. So Heat Nail Salamander is okay. He said just use Kanara in case you actually do want to snipe things. But my logic is that nothing in this deck can hit for 23 except for the Vanguard. So I'm thinking like I could do 1 of each maybe, like you know, because he hits the thing that needs to get retired, like the the 10K Vanguard boosters, or the whatever else there is. Like I guess if my opponent's running United Friendship K, they could kill that. You know, the grade 1 random attackers. I don't know. Kinara has its uses. I think it's good, but again, against a non-cross ride deck, obviously Bar is a better booster for Arc Dragon, but against a cross ride deck, definitely Flame Seed Salamander. So I'm thinking about going 1-on-1. Right now I'm just doing 2 Kinara, and then we got 4 Perfect Guard Bari, so that's pretty standard. So yeah, you can run Kimnar, you can run Flame Seed. I'm going to try one of each, and then after I play a variety of decks, I'm going to decide, depending on which one's more prevalent, which one I'm going to go with. Okay, so for grade 2s, we have 4 Bellicosity Dragon. He's a rare in the new comic set, 9k damage on Flipper. Yeah, so he's good turn 2. Against a non-cross ride deck, he's good all game because he puts weight on your attacks. So you can, Lawkeeper's Limit Break only costs counterblast 1. So basically he gives you a free limit break if his attack hits, which is why you have to be, you know, easy with your counterblasts. Yeah, against a cross ride deck he's not quite as strong because you know that it's coming. You have to be careful. You have to be careful when you attack him with. He only costs a 5k shield to block at maximum power. So yeah, he's better in against non-cross ride decks, but I still think a 4 of him is good because you want to have him by turn 2, so you can start unflipping your damage with Conroe and Kimnar if you choose to pay it. 2 Nehalem, 1 Garp, only 3 10Ks, and then we have 3 Tejas. Now we have 10 grade 2s only, which means I have 15 grade 1s, 10 grade 2s, and 8 grade 3s. I decided with Tejas over Berserk Dragon. Again, my friend Mason's suggestion. He's a Kagero player. He plays a lot. So Berserk Dragon does hit any grade 2 or lower rear guard, but 9 times out of 10 you're going to be counterblasting 2 to kill one of their boosters. And since Kennard is the same thing, if only counterblast 1, it's kind of pointless, you know. And then again, Berserk Dragon is only a 9k attacker, whereas Tejas is 8k. If you use a Sand Trick on either one, neither of them is going to hit for, you know, over against a cross ride or 11k, a 13 or 11k Vanguard. Neither of them's going to do. They're both going to do the same amount of damage. So, and the difference is if you stand Tejas, if they guard the boosted attack before, if you stand them, you can still hit their rear guard booster anyway. So, yeah, there is a strategy to running him. I might try to put in. No, I'm actually going to keep him at 3. Yeah, okay. But there's a strategy to it. I'll get into that in a second. Grade 3 lineup is 4 Lawkeeper right now, and 4 Arc Dragon. Initially, I was going to drop an Arc Dragon and then multiply 3, and then put in a grade 2. I put in another 10k vanilla, so that I could hit my rides better, get more consistent rides, because with 15 grade 1s, 11 grade 2s, I want to get my rides in, but then I have a less of a chance of drawing into Arc Dragon. So if I do that, though, it doesn't really mess with the field, because what I have in mind is I'll do something like this. Lawkeeper on Vanguard, boosted by, where is he? Ryopia. Him over here, boosted by either a Heat Nail against a cross ride deck or a Bar. And then over here, we got your Tejas with a random 7 or 8k booster. So now what we're doing right here is, we try to leave this spot open. So if you, and this would be with the only 3 Arc Dragon. What we do is we have this column you can kind of consistently be hitting for 21. This column consistently be hitting for 23. With a limit break. This column we leave open for either another Arc Dragon should we pull one, a Bellicosity Dragon should we draw one, or a Tejas should we draw one. And then afterwards, we basically on our turn we look at our hand and decide whether we have another good grade 2 to replace it with. And then if we do, we can use this column to intercept. So then when we draw into a dual axe Arc Dragon, we can go ahead and play it out and start doing beat stick combos. And then if not, we just leave this thing open, because Tejas is very weak and so is Bellicosity Dragon. So once their effects are basically going off, you've done their use and then you get rid of them. So in a deck like this with 8 grade 3s, I would be trying to make ideal columns like the 2 rear guard Arc Dragons, but if I decide to drop it down to only 7 grade 3s and 11 grade 2s, then my rear guard columns would look something more like this, with a grade 2 column, and a grade 3 column over here. So we got like a strong column, a Vanguard column, and then a column with some weight behind it. In this case, against the Crossfire deck, I would prefer to have the Heat Nail Salamander, because this column would have a lot of weight to the Vanguard attack, and plus the potential of standing Tejas. So yeah. One last thing about Tejas is that you have to know where to play him. With only 3 in this deck, he's kind of a bad turn to ride. I'd rather save him for when I have a pesky booster to get rid of, then use my Kimnars or Heat Nails to get rid of their Vanguard booster. So that's the plan for the deck. It's still in work in progress, so when I feel like I'm done with the deck, I'll post another update. And yeah, but for now, again, it's 8 grade 3s, 10 grade 2s, and 15 grade 1s. So yeah. Please be sure to comment with questions or suggestions, and subscribe if you like the video. Thanks for watching.